Alright. Jeff the Killer. Here we go. Jeff and his family had just moved into a new neighborhood. His dad had gotten a promotion at work, and they thought it would be best to live in one of the... and they thought it would be best to live in one of those fancy neighborhoods. Fancy in quotes. Jeff and his brother Lou, spelled L-I-U, couldn't complain though. A new and better house. What was not to love? As they were getting unpacked, one of their neighbors came by. "Hello," she said. "I'm Barbara. I live across the street from you. Well, I just wanted to introduce myself and introduce my son." She turned around and called her son over. "Billy, these are our new neighbors." Billy said hi and ran back to play in his yard. "Well," said Jeff's mom, "I'm Margaret, and this is my husband Peter, and my two sons, Jeffrey and Lou, spelled L-I-U." They each introduced themselves, and then Barbara invited them to her son's birthday. Jeff and his brother were about to object when their mother said that they would love to. Their mother said that they would love to, I guess on their behalf. When Jeff and his family were done unpacking, Jeff went up to his mom. "Mom, why would you accept an invite to some kid's party? If you haven't noticed, I'm not some dumb kid." "Jeff," said his mother. "Jeff." "Jeff," said his mother, "we just moved here. We should show that we want to spend time with our neighbors. Now, we're going to that party, and that's final." Jeff started to talk, but stopped himself, knowing that he couldn't do anything. Whenever his mom said something was final, it was final. He walked up to his room and plopped down on his bed. He sat there looking at his ceiling when suddenly he got a weird feeling. Not so much a pain, but a weird feeling. He dismissed it as just a random feeling. He then heard his mother call him down to get more of his stuff, and he walked down to get it. The next day, Jeff walked downstairs to get breakfast and got ready for school. As he sat there eating his food, he once again got that feeling. Only this time it was stronger. It gave him a slight tugging pain. But he once again dismissed it. After him and Lou finished eating, they walked down to the bus stop. They sat there waiting for the bus, and then, all of a sudden, some kid on a skateboard jumped over them, only inches above their laps. Their laps. They both jumped back in surprise. "Hey, what the hell?" Jeff yelled. The kid landed and turned back to them. He kicked his skateboard up and caught it. The kid seemed to be about 12, 1 year younger than Jeff. He wore an Aeropostale shirt and ripped blue jeans. "Well, well, well, it looks like we got some new meat," the kid said. Some new meat. The kid said. Suddenly, two other kids appeared. One was insanely skinny, and the other was huge. "Well, since you're new here, we'd like to introduce ourselves, comma, over there is Keith." Alright, what you have to... Okay, pause. Pause in the story. Keith. Keith is where I remember to look back. There are so many, like, run-on sentences and sentence fragments and terrible grammar and, like, incorrect use of prepositions that it's hard to read this at anything resembling a natural gait. I'm trying my best to keep, like, a regular speech pattern. It's just so hard when it's... Maybe this was written by a person in middle school or whatever. I don't know. I'm just letting you know why I keep stopping and laughing. It's just so hard to concentrate and keep a steady pace. "Well, since you're new here, we'd like to introduce ourselves. Over there is Keith." Jeff and Lou, spelled L-I-U, looked over to the skinny kid. He had a dopey face that you would expect a sidekick to have. That's Troy. They looked over to the fat kid. Talk about a tub of lard. This kid looked like he hadn't exercised since he was crawling. This kid looked like he... Okay. This kid looked like he hadn't exercised since he was crawling. And I, said the kid with the skateboard, am Randy. Now, for all the kids in this neighborhood, there is a small bus fee if you catch my drift. Lou, spelled L-I-U, stood ready to punch the light out of the kid when one of Randy's friends pulled a knife on him. Tisk, tisk, tisk. I had hopped. Tisk, tisk, tisk. I had hopped. You would be more cooperative, but it seems we must do this the hard way. Randy walked up to Lou, spelled L-I-U, and took Lou, spelled L-I-U's wallet out of his pocket. Jeff got that weird feeling again. Now it was truly strong, a burning sensation. He stood up, but Lou gestured him back down. Jeff ignored his brother and walked up to Randy. Listen here, you little punk. Listen here, you little punk. Give back my brother's wallet or else. Randy put the wallet in his pocket and pulled his own knife. Oh? And what will you do? Just as Randy finished the fucking sentence, Jeff popped the kid in the nose. As Randy reached for his face, Jeff grabbed his wrist and broke it. Randy screamed and Jeff grabbed the knife from Randy's hand. Troy and Keith rushed at Jeff, but Jeff was too fast for them. He threw Randy to the ground. Keith lashed at Jeff, but Jeff ducked and stabbed him in the arm. Keith dropped his knife and fell to the ground, screaming. Troy ran at Jeff, but Jeff didn't even need the knife. He just punched Troy straight. He just punched Troy straight in the stomach, and as he fell, he puked everywhere. Lou could do nothing but look in amazement at his brother. Jeff, how did you... That was all Lou said. They seen the bus coming. They seen the bus coming and knew they would be blamed for the whole thing, so they started running as fast as they could. As they ran, they looked back and saw the bus driver rushing over to Randy and the others. As Jeff and Lou made it to school, they didn't dare tell what happened. All they did was sit and listen. Lou just thought of it as his brother beating up a few kids, but Jeff knew it was more. It was something, scary. As he got that feeling, he felt how powerful it was. As he got that feeling, he felt how powerful it was. The urge to just, hurt someone. He didn't like how it sounded, but he couldn't help feeling happy. He felt that strange feeling go away and stay away for the whole day of school. I guess that's a relief. Even as he walked home due to the whole thing near the bus stop, that's such an awkward, and how he probably wouldn't be taking the bus anymore, he was happy. Even as he walked home due to the whole thing near the bus stop, and how he probably wouldn't be taking the bus anymore, he was happy. When he got home, his parents asked him how his day was, and he said, in a somewhat ominous voice, it was a wonderful day. Next morning, he heard a knock on his front door. He walked down to find 2 police officers at his door, his mother looking back at him with an angry look. Jeff? These officers tell me that you attacked 3 kids. Jeff, these officers tell me that you attacked 3 kids. That it wasn't regular fighting. and that they were stabbed. Stabbed, son! Jeff's gaze fell to the floor, showing Jeff's... Fuck this, man.